Your video, I wanted to talk to you about how to write a proposal and what it is. A proposal is basically a tool a teacher will use to assess early on whether or not you should continue on with a project or a course of study or a thesis, something like that. And if you go on to graduate work, you run into this quite a bit as teachers will really want to catch you early before you invest a lot of time developing a thesis or writing a project or a theme. And so you really have to be able to quickly let your teacher know what exactly you are going to do, what topic, what specific approach, that sort of thing. And if there's a general way to do it, and then there are a lot of nuanced ways that build off the general way. So you just got to listen carefully to your teacher and the level of the level to which he wants you to take your proposal and that sort of thing. They'll give you instructions on that. But for me, okay, I want you to just do sort of like a 7 to 10 sentence paragraph, all right? And I need you to quickly articulate in the paragraph what your general topic is, okay? Now, one way to articulate a topic is just to make sure that you say it in a noun phrase. Now, it can also be phrased as a question, but we'll hold off for this until we talk about it down below as a guiding question. But let me just talk to you quickly about the difference between a topic and a thesis. A topic is going to be a noun phrase. It reflects the thing. It's the name of the thing that you're looking at and researching. The thesis is what you're going to say about that thing. So one, test is just can you say it as a sentence? If see, the thesis always has to be articulated as a sentence with a subject and a predicate, and it's going to have a truth or false value to it. A topic will never be able to have a truth value to it because it's not going to be a sentence. It's just a phrase. It's just an object to study. For example, I have a student that is going to study shyness. So shyness is that just it? That's the topic. If I were to say to you, hey, shyness, true or false, you wouldn't be able to say true or false to that. You would need to say, well, tell me some more. What are you going to say about shyness? See, that's exactly the point. That for the topic, you never can really say from just knowing what the topic is, well, is this true or false? You need to have a proposition for that to happen, and that's what we need to reserve for the thesis, okay? So I'm just looking for a general revelation or clarification of what your topic is. And then I would like you to follow it up quickly with a narrowed version, or just tell me how you're going to narrow it down, okay? So for this student that's working on shyness, it might go something like, my general topic is shyness. Specifically, I want to look at shyness in American toddlers, okay? So there you go. That's a more focused approach, and I would really call that your topic, right? I mean, because that's really what you're going to be focusing on in the paper, and it could be even more narrow if you wish. Shyness in toddlers while they participate in public events. Okay, so you go from the general topic to the specific topic. Hang on just a second here. Okay, and then I would like a narrowed version. Okay, I say think funnel here because you're funneling down. All right, it's like you start broad and wide, and then you just get more narrow and more narrow as you move in. Okay, and then just a good concrete example of what you are talking about would be great. Just can you provide an example of this so that we can see it more or less? Now, if you're thinking in terms of sentences, and if you can do it this way, this would be one sentence, the second sentence, the third sentence, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh sentence down here. This we'll find out is something that helps us determine what is a thesis. But you might need a couple sentences here, so I don't mind if you go to 10 or 11 sentences. But in general, a proposal is just something short and quick and full of information, again, to help your teacher judge what you're going to do with your work. So I'm really just looking for a 7 to 11, somewhere around there, sentence paragraph here. Now, you don't forget, I need somewhere in your paragraph to show me how you're connecting to communication, either directly or indirectly. So that could be a sentence somewhere. I think that these two this is how you ought to open it, with this and with this. But then, actually, you might want to open it with a concrete example. So I'm going to say there seems to be, in the way that I've ordered these right here, a sort of a natural order. And I wouldn't mind at all if you kept that order. But if you look at your paragraph later and say, I really want to kind of arrange it a little bit here, that would be fine. It probably would have worked well. Okay, so you need your direct or indirect connection to communication. I would like your guiding question, which may be, it could be a topic, again, expressed as a question, okay? So think of a topic as a coin, and a coin has two sides. The front side, or the head side, is what's known as the obverse, and the tail side, or the back side, is what's known as the reverse. Obverse and reverse, okay? Let's just say that one way to express your topic, one side of the coin, might be as a noun phrase. Shyness in toddlers while they participate in a public situation, a public event. Now, another way to phrase that topic would to give me the reverse of that, and it would be something like, why are some toddlers very shy when they are in a public? Now, you might be thinking that's just kind of crazy, because I just said that, and I know. So when you give me your guiding question, you might want to be a little more specific or something, okay? I'm not necessarily looking for that prosaic of a translation between the noun version of the topic and the question version of the topic. But I do want to suggest that sometimes topics can be implied in a question, and if you have a guiding question and you realize to yourself, the main answer to this question is going to be my main point, my thesis, it can be very helpful in determining how you continue on with the research. Okay, so I do want to see that you have a guiding question in your proposal. Now, again, when you provide your guiding question, try to come up with an answer for it. Now, you know what? At this point, you're going to be guessing. Now, but make an educated guess. You've already done some reading and some thinking about this. So what possibly could be an answer to this thing? It might be one answer of a couple, but if you can think of 3 or 4 possible answers, one do you think is the most probable? And go ahead and put that down. Now, I'm not going to call this a thesis. I'm going to call it, at this point, a hypothesis, because you need to understand it's very tentative. Okay? And, hypothesis is sort of like a, let's say you have you want to do a painting, and you decide, well, how am I going to do this painting? And so you sketch out something on a sketch pad with pencil or something, and you erase it a little bit, and you sketch it some more, and sometimes you might have to crumple it up and throw it away, and you sketch out something else, and you go, aha! Eventually you go, aha, I like that. That's what I'm going to do. And okay, you start working on it, and you add the color and the canvas and the background and all that sort of thing. A couple of days later, you have the finished painting. Okay, let's go ahead and say that when you're sketching it out in graphite and in loose lines and that sort of thing, it's just hypothesis. You're just very tentative, very flexible. You've got a claim that you think is going to be the answer to this guiding question, but you don't know a lot of the data yet, and as soon as you get contrary data, you're going to change it, you're going to flex it, you're going to have to let the data shape your thesis. But if you go into all this data without some idea, without the guiding question, and without some guess as to what the answer is, it's going to be really hard to manage it all. So it's just a strategy. We're going to call it a hypothesis right now. Okay. And then later, when you actually realize, hey, I do have enough data to make this case for the truth of this proposition or whatever, then you can go ahead and call it a thesis, okay? Now, a thesis is going to be a proposition, so it's going to have a subject and predicate. It's going to be a declarative sentence, basically, okay? And it's either true or false. I actually don't want to say potentially here, because it is either true or false now. You may not know which one is which. And you might not ever really know fully that it's true, but you might just get enough data to show you that it probably is true. But you do know that if you had all the data in the world, and if you could see this, then you could determine whether it's true or not. Okay, so it has to be that sort of thing. Let's go back to shyness in toddlers. The topic would be something like shyness in toddlers while they participate in a public event. Okay. Your thesis may be something like this. Shyness in toddlers participating in a public event for the first time is often overcome later by education about that public event, about the nature of the public event. So what you're trying to suggest is, hey, sometimes a lot of kids are shy the first time they do something new. It's the rare kid that, just jumps right in when he doesn't understand what exactly this activity is, okay? Most kids are going to be hesitant, and what I'm trying to suggest here is that parents can mistake that for shyness. And if they do, they might start talking about how their kid is shy, and they might thinking about their kid is shy. They might be mentioning this word shy to other people, and the kid might be picking up on it, thinking, I'm shy, eventually thinking, well, I guess I am shy. When in fact, if the parents just after that first birthday party or after that first sleepover or whatever, they just um, sit down with the kid and say, this is what was going on. This is what we do in America. This is a perfectly acceptable event, and you could sort of have that educational process going. You might find the next time you take that kid to a birthday party, the kid's not shy at all. Okay, so what first was mistaken as shyness was really a tentative approach to something the kid didn't understand. Okay, and we still kind of do this as adults. If we don't understand some sort of event, we just we kind of wade in carefully and slowly, even though might be very outgoing. So that would be my hypothesis. My thesis is shyness in American toddlers in public events. My thesis is that was my topic. My thesis is going to be some sort of hey, I've got an answer to this. Excuse me. My guiding question would be something like, um, uh, well, what exactly is the cause to this problem? Now, my hypothesis would be what I just said. Hey, shyness in public events for toddlers happens when it's their first time. It looks like shyness. It's not really shyness. It's just a tentative approach. And it can help them when they get education about what this is. So that would be my thesis. Now, Dan, I would like you to end your proposal by listing some sources you'd have to look at to try to figure this thing out and make the case. So for me, if I were, or for the student, if the student were doing this, it would be something like, well, I'm gonna, in order to examine this issue more closely and to see if my hypothesis is right, I'm gonna have to look into books on child psychology or sources on child psychology, because it could also be articles. Sources on child psychology, sources on shyness in general, even if it applies to adults. Um, uh, maybe I need to look into sources on how education emboldens people, that sort of thing. Okay, so I might need to look at YouTube videos that depict shy kids at events, and I don't know. But you kind of use your, uh, noggin here and try to think what sort of resources will I need to delve into? Do I need to do a survey? Do I need to look at documentaries? What do I need reference books here? Do I need academic journal articles, that sort of thing? So I would like a quick list of that. Now, down here you might need one or two sentences to do this. It's up to you. I don't mind if you actually decide that if you want to use this sort of language. Okay, I know I'm providing it to you. Okay, but if you copy this down and start your sentences like this, it will help you write this paragraph. And as a teacher, I think I would be really pleased with that, because it's sort of giving you a like a heuristic or a tool to help you do this. Um, if you started off your sentences this way, my general topic is shyness and toddlers in America. Specifically, I want to look at, actually, the general topic would be just shyness, right? Specifically, I want to look at shyness and toddlers at public events in America. For example, we've all noticed the little girl who doesn't want to blow out the candles or whatever, Next thing, this focused approach connects to communication because essentially I'm trying to answer the question and just put the question there. I think possibly the answer is to work this topic properly. I have to. Okay, so if you want to actually start your sentences with this, that's fine. At the end, though, why don't you must put them together as a paragraph, and you need to see that it reads nicely. You need to make sure all your typos are out. Capitalize your I's. Put your contractions in there, your apostrophes properly. Can't tell you how many times I get emails that look like a chimpanzee wrote it, because it's just like every other word is spelled wrong, and you're leaving all your capitals out. And I know we do this with our friends, okay? I know, but I want you to treat this class as a professional space, and I want to receive professionally looking email from you, okay? And and I want to receive a professionally looking proposal. So please proofread. Make sure it flows together well as a paragraph. So I didn't really mean that about chimpanzees. All right, don't get all offended. All right, so I really want you to think about this and you know, write her up and let me see it within the week. Okay? Thank you for watching this video. I hope it helped.